Not every stitch in crochet is meant to behave nicely in rows. Some stitches are meant to add texture, movement, and a little bit of personality. And those are exactly the kind of stitches we're playing with today. Hey crochet friends, I'm Mo, your crochet companion. In this episode of Freeform Crochet series, we're working with a few specialty stitches that can add texture and dimension to your scrumbles. Okay, so first up, we're going to talk about the crab stitch. And the crab stitch, it looks like, well, this is what it is right here. This is what it looks like. It kind of looks like a, kind of like a rope, really. It's just a single crochet that we work in reverse. So it's also called a reverse single crochet. So in Freeform Crochet, we are often using the crab stitch. We're using it in the front loop. So let's take a look at that. And I'm going to show you this right here. So it's the front loop only. And what I'm going to show you today is how to do that in a way that you're doing it before you create this ridge or after. So you can do it before you've created your surround, or you can do it after your surround. So like, for example, here, I created my surround, then I went back and did my reverse single, my crab stitch, right? But you can also create the crab stitch before you create the surround as well. So I'm going to show you both ways to do that. It's just one of those things like maybe you wanted to do the crab stitch there and but you know, you weren't quite sure what you were going to do for the surround just yet. And that's okay. That's okay. That's why you have both ways to learn, so that you can do either or. Now, as you can see, I did a spiral here, right? We talked about that, how I like this, that looks like a snail, right? I love doing a crab stitch on this snail looking type thing, right? And I often do my snails. I'm going to just call them what it is. I often do my snails in the back loop only, so that I can use that front loop as a place to put a crab stitch. So I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. So when I use that for my snails, I go ahead and start with the very first one that I created. So way over here at the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and insert my hook there. And I'm going to add my color. Do a slip stitch so it stays on there. Okay. Now, this is how I have learned how to do the crab stitch. So we're going to swing our hook around just like this. We're going to insert our hook in there like this and kind of pull our hook to the front, grab our yarn, pull it up. So now you have, well, now I have more than what I wanted on there, but now you have 2 loops on your hook. And then you're going to do a yarn over and pull through 2. So let's do that again. We're going to swing our hook around kind of to the side and up. I'm going to grab it, pull it down, grab my yarn, pull it up, and complete my reverse single crochet. So let's keep doing that again. I'm going to insert my hook, kind of swing it around, down, grab my yarn, pull up the loop, and do my single crochet. Let me get a little bit closer here so that you can see that a little bit better. So we're going to we're going to put our hook this toward us, the hook part toward us, insert our hook into that spot, bring the hook down, grab our yarn, pull it up, pull through. Let's keep doing that because I know sometimes it can be kind of tricky until you've seen it a couple times. So I'm going to put my hook toward me, kind of in a wonky position, insert my hook, grab my yarn, pull it up, and grab my yarn again and pull through 2. Now I'm going to go a little bit faster so you can see what it looks like in real time. I actually don't make such an aggressive position. But I just was doing that so it's over exaggerated so you can kind of see how we do that. I'm getting a little blurry here. Sometimes you have to over exaggerate things to understand it, right? And I'm just going to keep going that way until I get all the ones that I want done. Now, do I always like make myself into a magician? No, I just kind of subtly do it, put my hook in there, grab the yarn, and pull it through. And sometimes I use the piece that I'm working on as a way to, I kind of move it a little bit too, so it's not. Now keep in mind when you're doing an overlay like this with the crab stitch, sometimes you have to put less. So if my stitches are really close together, then I might put one crab stitch in, and like I might skip a step and put this crab stitch in the next stitch. Or let's say that they're really far apart, then I'm going to put maybe a couple of crab stitch in the same spot. So we're going to keep going like that until we get to the point where we want to go, right? Okay, so we're almost to the point. So I'm going to show you how to do, so this is the way you do it if you have already created your surround, right? And once we get to this point, then I'm going to show you what you do when you haven't created your surround yet. So it's before the surround. I want to say before your surround sound. All right, so now we've gotten to that spot. And you see how much more interesting that looks now compared to what it was? Let's look at another one that I did. And so you see what we could do for this one as well. I could do an overlay across that using that crab stitch. And you could do two, like, because this is a two color, you could do two colors right there. So one color here and one color there. It helps you tie your colors in together. It's so beautiful sometimes. Okay. All right. Back to where we were. Now, we don't have an overlay, right? So we're just going to go into the front loop only. So our next one is right here. So we're going to ignore this bottom loop right here. And we're going to go into our front loop. Just like that. We're going to keep going around like that. So as you can see, now I have that back loop that I can still play with. So let's say I haven't made up my mind whether I want to do a surround on this yet. That it gives it visual interest without necessarily detracting from adding anything more to your work, right? So you can keep adding more to it. All right, so I'm going to go all the way around and I'll be right back. Okay, so now you can see how beautiful that can be. And you see how you can use the crab stitch to create extra interest, or you can actually use it for an edging as well. So it works either way. But you see, I did this in a way that it allows it to be either or. And then once you actually decide on whatever it is that you want to do, you're going to work in those back loops. And the way I do it, you see how this little knobby right here is? I insert into both of those stitches because it gives it more stability when you do it that way. But I absolutely love the way that looks now. Absolutely love it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and tie my green off here. Gonna tie it off. Okay, all right. Well, I didn't give myself very much yarn to weave that in, so I might have to get creative with that. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you a specialty stitch that I have no idea what the name is. No clue. I learned it from somebody long time ago, but I never knew what the actual name was. And I have searched high and low, and I have not even found the name on the internet or anything. So if you guys know what the name of this is, I would love it if you told me. If you know, if you're like me, you just don't know. But this, to me, is a cross between a cluster, Tunisian, and what is the other one? Yeah, the box stitch. So to me, that's what it kind of makes me think of. So this is the box stitch, and this is the specialty stitch that I'm going to teach you. So this is kind of, the reason why it makes me think of the box stitch is because of the way we set it up to create the stitch. And that's the exact same way we do with the box stitch. Now the difference is that we don't do like the yarn over and leaving all the loops on the hook. We actually do it slightly different, but let's just go ahead and get to it. So remember the stitch that we used? Yee! Actually, you know what? Maybe I won't do it on this one because I need like a white or a gold, and I have those tied up on a couple other things. So let me find a different one. Yeah, let's go with this one because we can use that green again. Okay, so we kind of want to start it just like we would a box stitch, where you kind of are going at a little bit of an angle. Like you're starting it up here, but then you're adding it down here, right? So I'm going to insert my hook right here. I'm going to add my green color. Now, the other difference between the box stitch and what we're going to do with this one is that you're using a double crochet and a chain of 1 at the top. So you'll understand what I mean, but once you get into it. But anyway, so we're going to yarn over. We're going to insert our hook right about, let's go with this one right here. So we want to create a place to put this stitch, right? So that's why we're going to create that double crochet. Now, this is kind of where a little bit of Tunisian and your cluster come in. So you're not going to yarn over. You're just going to insert your hook into that space that you just created, right? You're going to yarn over, pull up that loop, and you're going to yarn over, pull through that loop, and you're going to pull that loop up higher. So now you have that little loop down here at the bottom and a long loop at the top. So you're going to keep doing that same thing. You're going to yarn over, pull that loop up, yarn over, pull through that loop, and pull that strand all the way up. Gonna keep doing that until you get to the size that you want, right? That's why I said this kind of reminds me of a little bit of a box stitch, a little bit of Tunisian, and a little bit of a cluster. A little bit of all of the above, right? Okay, so I have 6 strands on my hook, so I'm going to go ahead and yarn over and pull through all 6 strands, and then at the top, I'm going to do a single chain at the top. Then we're going to go into our next stitch. So I'm going to skip a stitch, and I'm going to do a double crochet in the next stitch. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull up that loop, yarn over, pull through that, and then pull it up taller. Insert our hook, yarn over, pull it up, yarn over, pull through that, and then pull it up taller. So we're going to keep going just like that. So there's 3, and I'm going to do 6. And then we're going to yarn over, pull through all the loops, yarn over, and, and do a chain of 1 at the top. Okay, so now I'm going to do it in a little bit faster time, and then I'll slow it down one more time so you guys can see it. So this is what it looks like when you're doing it a little bit faster. You stop long enough to count. All right, so one more time, I'm going to slow it down again. We're going to skip one, go into the next stitch, do a double crochet. And the reason why I'm not really going into how to do each stitch, like the single crochet and double crochet, is because if you guys are trying out Freeform, you probably have been crocheting for a little bit of time anyway. Okay, so I'm going to do it slowly. We're going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull up that loop, yarn over, pull through that loop. Pull it up so it's longer. Yarn over, pull it up, yarn over, pull through that loop, pull it up so it's longer. And just keep doing that until you get as many strands on your hook as you want. And then I stop and kind of do a quick head count and then yarn over, pull through all the loops and do the chain at the top. So that's kind of what it looks like. I just love the variety, and I just love that. So and then full disclosure, I actually was contemplating on teaching you guys the bullion stitch, I can't even say it, the bullion stitch, which is, I have figured out that it is my arch nemesis. It is my arch nemesis. So that got vetoed. So this stitch you can use as a decorative edging, or you can just use it as part of your building your scrumbles. It's completely up to you, but you can see that it just makes such a beautiful, it would make a very beautiful edging. Okay, so we know that freeform crochet, it doesn't grow uniformly. It grows organically. One color, one surround, one unexpected texture at a time. Until next time, keep your yarn flowing and your creativity growing, and may your hooks never hide.